Hi everyone, I'm Veronica from the market analysis team. Today I'm going to share the March market dynamics with you guys. So first, let's look at the EU. EU has launched a new platform for owning and operating energy storage assets across Europe called Repono, targeting a 30% market share of the export 1 terawatt-hour market by 2030. The move is part of the EU bloc's goal of reaching a renewable energy generation mix of 42.5% by 2030. So Repono has directly addressed these challenges by operating in three key areas. Firstly, it will strategically manage its storage capacities via short-term spot markets. Secondly, Repono's balancing services will be crucial to maintaining grid stability and preventing large-scale blackouts. And lastly, integrate three energy storage into power purchase agreements between large independent power producers and industrial companies. Second, next let's look at the SKR. So SKR has completed the development of its own LFP battery and will begin production as early as 2026. SKR CEO Lee has told the reporter that at the Inter Battery 2024 conference. So SKR CEO said that while Chinese companies are considered price competitive in the LFP battery market, South Korean companies will also be competitive while considering the North American market. So the CEO's comments are likely a reference to trade restrictions imposed by the U.S. government on Chinese companies. According to BNEF's Global Battery Manufacturers report released in November 2023, SKR has not yet produced energy storage sales, and in 2022, SKR shipped 43 gigawatt-hours of power sales. So next, it's about the REITs. The first domestic PV REIT based on solar power plants, Zhonghang Jin PV REIT, is nearing its 1-year listing anniversary on the Shanghai Stock Exchange, featuring the Yulin and Jing-type PV projects with installed capacities of 300 megawatts and 100 megawatts, respectively. Since its listing on March 29, 2023, the REITs have performed well, trading above its insurance price with a high dividend yield, reflecting a cash distribution rate of 10% for the first dividend in 2023. PV REITs allowing investors to indirectly invest in renewable energy projects through the purchase of shares, offering regular cash dividends by securitizing solar assets for stock market trading. So next, it's about the European Parliament. The European Parliament and the European Council has reached a provisional provision on new regulations to ban products manufactured with forced labor from the European Union. The deal was reached by unspecified negotiators, but it will have to be approved by the European Parliament and the European Council. The new rules will be published in the official journal of the European Union 1 day after approval. EU member countries will have 3 years to enforce the new provisions. According to the agreed text, national authorities or if third countries are involved, the EU Commissions will investigate suspected use of the forced labor in companies' supply chains, said the EU Parliament in a press release. If the investigation concludes that forced labor has been used, the authorities can demand that relevant goods be withdrawn from the EU markets and online marketplaces and confiscated at the borders. At the request of the Parliament, the EU Commission will draw up a list of specific economic sectors in specific geographic zones where forced labor reportedly exists. This will become a standard for evaluating the need to open investigations. Next, the India's push for complex renewable energy projects is set to boost new installations of solar power. India has auctioned over 20 gigawatts of complex renewables. Such projects also seem being built for commercial and industrial users who want round-the-clock clean power. Solar is typically 8 to 100% of the contract capacity. Across the 11 complex projects where technology breakdown has been tracked by BNEF, solar is preferred as it is the cheapest source of bulk generation during daytime. Next. So Meyer-Burger Post is nearly performance. Meyer-Burger regularly announced its operating conditions. Its revenue in 2023 was basically the same YOY, but its EBITDA loss further expanded. In 2023, the loss reached 130 million Swiss francs, which also led to its direct closure of Germany plants in 2023. Fortunately, Meyer-Burger still has strong cash reserves and is still far away from bankruptcy. Hence, despite a nameplate annual production capacity of 1.4 gigawatts, it produced 650 megawatt modules last year. It also had to recognize impairments on fixed assets of solar cell and module production in Germany and its inventories. The company's module inventories increased significantly to around 365 megawatts. So 7 is about the energy commune. Pilgrims installed about around 1.8 gigawatts of new PV systems last year, according to its energy commune. So energy commune said the new statistics are based on provisional data, and another 200 megawatts of PV capacities could still be missing, which means that the growth for last year may be even higher. So next is about the greener. Said that Jinko has the top reporter in Brazil for 2 consecutive years. So the top 10 brands accounted for about 77% of the volume imported in 2023. Compared with 2022, which with 71 brands that supplied PV module to Brazil, the 10 with the largest volume were responsible for 81% of the total imports. In the top 10 ranks of the Brazil in 2023, Jinko and Canadian are relatively stable. In 2023, Brazil's total import volume was 17.5 gigawatts, with Jinko ranking first with an import volume of 3.4 gigawatts, accounting for about 20%, and Canadian's ranking second with slight differences, accounting for 19.2%. The top 2 brands have seen an increase in a market share despite a decrease in overall concentration in the top 10. Next is about the Wood Magazine said that the U.S. Energy storage market shattered previous records for deployment across all segments in the final quarter of 2023, with about 4,236 megawatts installed over the period. 100% increase from Q3. For the first time, the grid-scale segment exceeded 3 gigawatts deployed in one quarter and nearly topped 4 gigawatts. For the U.S. residential segment, deployments reached about 285.5 megawatts, which barely exceeded the previous quarterly installation record of about 200 megawatts set in Q3 2023. So next, on March 18, Austria officially announced that it will invest a total of $150 million to support the installation and construction of renewable energy projects, 19% of which will be used for solar PV projects. The funds are mainly aimed at the PV projects above 1 megawatt, and as for residential projects, which is below 35 kilomegawatts. Australia's newly installed capacity exceeds 2 gigawatts for the first time in 2023. According to S&P's end of 2023 report, Australia's PV market will remain steady growth in the future. So for the 11th, about top risk vendor Solar from Germany launched its first CNA energy report. So in 20, local German energy storage integrator Solar presented its first commercial and industrial energy storage product. According to the residential energy storage market tracker called for 2023 by S&P. Solar is currently a top 10 RES vendor in Europe, focusing on the German and Belgian markets. In addition to Chinese vendors, Solar is the top 1 RES local vendor in Europe. So next, Swedish solar PV manufacturing startup Northsail Group said that it will build the world's greenest solar module factory in Sweden, calling it Gigawatt, with an annual installed capacity of 1.2 gigawatts. It said this will boost European solar module production capacity by over 50%. The 1.2 gigawatt fab will have a capacity to roll out more than 2.5 million solar modules this year. So today is my share. Thank you for your watching and listening. Thank you.